If a doctor needs to see a fractured rib, they use an X-ray. Ionizing radiation passes through the body. Dense calcium blocks it, leaving a crisp shadow of the skeleton behind. But diagnosing a torn ligament, tumor, or brain bleed requires clear views of soft tissues. Pushing enough ionizing radiation through the body to map delicate organs is dangerous to the patient. Magnetic resonance imaging solves this problem by leaving harmful radiation out of the process entirely. Instead of relying on radiation, an MRI maps the human body by manipulating our most abundant internal resource, water. The human body is about 60% water. This means we are filled with billions upon billions of hydrogen atoms, and these atoms are the primary targets of the MRI machine. Inside the nucleus of every hydrogen atom is a single proton. That proton possesses a quantum property called spin. Because of this spin, the proton carries a tiny electrical charge in motion, making it act like a microscopic magnet with its own distinct north and south pole. In your natural state, you are filled with billions of these tiny magnets, but they are completely disorganized. Their axes point in random chaotic directions, constantly canceling out each other's magnetic pull. This vast chaotic sea of microscopic magnets is the raw material the scanner is about to control. As a patient slides into the cylindrical tube of an MRI scanner, they enter a constant, overpowering magnetic field known as B0. Thousands of times stronger than the Earth's magnetic pull, this field forces chaotic protons to instantly snap into parallel alignment. But they aren't perfectly still. They wobble around their axis, a movement called precession, at a specific frequency dictated by the magnet's strength. In a matter of seconds, the machine has organized the water inside the body into a highly structured, uniform state. To gather medical data, the scanner now has to disrupt that perfectly organized system. It does this by firing a radio frequency, or RF, pulse that is tuned to the exact wobbling frequency of the protons. In a process called excitation, the protons absorb this precisely matched RF energy. The physical impact knocks them away from their vertical alignment, tipping them 90 degrees onto their sides into a high-energy state. This forced, unnatural posture is a temporary setup. The machine pushes them out of alignment to specifically trigger the signals they release when bouncing back. Suddenly, the machine turns the RF pulse off, removing the energy source that was keeping the protons tipped over. The protons immediately begin to recover. They slowly struggle to stand back up and realign with the main magnetic field in a process called T1 relaxation. Simultaneously, they undergo T2 relaxation, losing tight synchronization and drifting out of phase. As protons relax to their baseline, they shed absorbed energy, releasing faint radio signals picked up by receiver coils placed around the patient. These tiny escaping radio echoes are the actual raw data the MRI machine is listening for. But listening to the echoes introduces a massive logistical problem. With billions of signals firing simultaneously, how does the machine know exactly where in the body a specific echo came from? Gradient magnetic fields solve this. Coils divide the magnetic field into strict X, Y, and Z axes, building a 3D grid across the patient. Altering the field's strength forces protons in a shoulder to emit distinctly different waves than those in an elbow. This massive database of spatial information is collected into a mathematical space called K-space. A computer then processes it using a complex formula known as the Fourier transform. That mathematics is the bridge. It instantly converts billions of invisible, varying radio frequencies into exact geographic coordinates. Look at the monitors at this workstation. The final output is a series of highly detailed digital image slices of the interior of the body. The contrast between tissues in these images comes from how fast those protons relaxed. In a T1 weighted image, fat appears bright white, while fluid appears dark. In a T2 weighted image, the fluid appears bright. This makes it highly effective for spotting hidden inflammation or detecting edema surrounding a tumor. Because different tissues hold different amounts of water, their protons relax at measurably different speeds, generating the distinct visual contrast we see on the screen. By manipulating the quantum behavior of simple water molecules, the MRI gives doctors a precise, non-invasive map of human health and disease.